It sucks, doesn't it? Yup. Getting through this breakup. I know you guys, it's tough, but I'm here to help you through it. This is Tony with Trust the Breakup, and today we're going to look at the stages of a breakup recovery. All right, you have to understand there are different stages, and um, your recoveries, the speed of it is going to depend on what stage you're in and how long you stay there. Okay. Stick around to the end because I'm going to tell you what to do, some solutions, and then some recommended readings. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. Okay, the stages of breakup recovery. Number one, you have to understand it is a normal process. Okay, it can be long or short depending on the length and the level of intimacy of the relationship. So if you were with somebody for 3 months, it's going to take a lot less time, right, than if you were with somebody for 3 years or 5 years or if you were married. Okay. And your recovery is going to depend a lot too on the actions you take post breakup. And that's what we're going to get into today. We're going to get into the things that happen post breakup, which will make your recovery last longer or get over it more quickly. Okay. So stage one, denial. And I want to let you guys know that this isn't like chronological necessarily. Some of these stages can be mixed, they can mesh together. You one can flip around and you can experience one first and another one after that. But basically, overall, this is a basic order, okay? But like I said, they can overlap as well. You can have symptoms from one um, and symptoms from another at the same time. But let's go ahead and get into it. Stage one, denial. Okay, what are some things you're doing at this point? You keep texting or calling. Okay, you're kind of texting and calling like if nothing ever happened. And this is going to be for the person who has been broken up with, not the one doing the breakup. Like that person is they're pretty much good with it. All right? Maybe at least right now. Maybe later there'll be some regrets and they'll have second thoughts, but for the most part when it happens, they're pretty much good with it. But if you've been broken up with, and I'm guessing if you're on this channel and you're looking at this for help, you're the one who is hurting because you've been broken up with. And in denial, sometimes we keep texting or calling as if, hey, we're still good. You make future plans in your mind. You see a commercial, or let's say an ad for vacation or something like that, and you start making future plans in your mind and thinking, oh, next summer we can go here and there, but you're really not going to because that person's not an option to go with anymore. Okay. Or if you hear of events that are happening, concerts, things like that are coming up in a couple weeks, you start thinking, oh well, I'll text him, I'll text her, and we can go ahead and make plans for that. Nah, yeah, probably not. Okay, next, you're still buying like birthday gifts and Christmas gifts and you know gifts for celebrations like there's, let's say your ex is graduating college and you're buying them that gift there because you're in denial that you're not together anymore, or you're hoping that it will soften their heart, right? But that's what you're doing. You're still carrying on as if nothing ever happened. Okay. And the reason why is it hasn't really hit you that it's over. It's probably still fresh. It's something you didn't want to happen. And if you're in this stage, it just hasn't really hit you. But it will. Okay, you keep going on through these stages and it will. Let's go on to number two, anger. Look at them, they're pissed. Anger, okay? What happens when we're in that anger stage, stage two? Well, we say things like, "Man, how could this happen?" And it makes you mad. And then you start thinking of how good you were and the audacity that person had to break up with you. right? We say things like, wow, I was there for them when this happened. I was there for them when that happened. Um, I was so good to her, man. I was always there, to be there when she needed me, or I did this for him, or girls, if you've been like really good and you think, yeah, how could he do this? And guys, you've been like the best boyfriend you could be, and yet you're like, how could she leave me? And you're upset, and then you're mad because you feel that you were owed something almost. I mean, you did it, I guess, out of love and everything, but you feel like, okay, because I've done this stuff for you, you shouldn't have broken up with me. When really, that person has their own thoughts and their own will and what they're going to do, and they really don't owe you necessarily anything. This is when frustration is going to set in. Okay, frustration is going to set in, and desperation, and we're going to talk a little more about desperation in a bit. But in these stages, you're frustrated and you're desperate, and in that anger, in that frustration, in that desperation, you go into a rebound relationship. Why? Well, because you kind of want to get back at that person. If you're angry and if you're frustrated, you just want to have a relationship, or you want to have that feeling of going out and dating again. But the rebound relationship is going to end, and you're posting things online to try to make that person jealous, because you're angry and you want to show them, oh, look what you lost, look what you gave up, type of thing. Okay, let's move on. Stage three is bargaining. This is the most dangerous one. Okay, listen closely. This is the most dangerous one because this is where a lot of things start to happen. Okay, now you start freaking out in the bargaining stage. Okay, and you come up with schemes and plans on how to get her back, guys. Um, you're up at night. You can't sleep, and you are coming up with plans, and you're thinking, okay, what can I do to get her back? You wake up in the morning, she's the first person on your mind. Probably even dreaming about your ex. So it's a tough one, okay? You start freaking out, and you start bargaining. You're gonna show neediness by over texting, maybe writing letters, doing the grand gesture, and asking to meet up, to apologize. And then you start compromising your values and your goals. So let's talk about this a little more, okay? Um, Let me talk about the grand gesture. You do something to show how sweet you are and how much you love her, girls, how much you love him. And you do this grand gesture of thinking, if I do this awesome thing for her, then it's going to melt her heart and she's going to see how much I love her and she's going to come running back. Don't do it. It doesn't work. Okay? It doesn't work. And when it doesn't work, you just get more angry, okay, and depressed. I've done the grand gesture. I was with a girl who was, um, it was her finals for college at a university, and I put together this this finals survival kit for her, and I had flowers there, and I did all these nice little cute things that I knew she liked, and left it on her doorstep so she can find it when she left the apartment in the morning. Yeah, it didn't work. And then you start asking to meet up to apologize. Why? Because you think, if I just can say that one thing, if she just hears me, she's not answering your texts, she's not answering your phone calls, and you're like, if I can just say this to her, it'll turn things around. No, you're like, your mind is playing tricks on you, okay? Your mind is making conclusions that are in line with what you want to happen. The conclusion the result that you want, but that's not necessarily what your ex is thinking. And then you start compromising values and goals, and you start, because you're thinking you need to line up better with how she feels, or girls how he feels, and you start changing your goals and saying, well, I'm not going to go to that college so I can stay here in town, or I'm not going to pursue that, or I'm going to let go of these values that I have because it didn't line up with what your ex wanted. Do you see? That's what I mean by the bargaining stage can be dangerous. And I know as you listen to this, you're like, dude, Tony, you're talking about me. I know. I've been there. People aren't so different. Um, we go through these stages. And then you fantasize about the past. And you're so bummed out, right? And you're thinking, you think that the relationship was better than it was, or what you could have done better, which leads to regret. Okay? If you've been broken up with, you start thinking that the relationship was better than it really was. And then you're like, okay, what could I have done better? What could I have changed about me? And change is good. You know, there are things we can learn, obviously, and get better. But I'm talking about when you let that turn into big regrets, okay? And it holds you there. It holds you in this stage, and it leads you down to depression, and it's just not a good area to go into. Okay, you begin overanalyzing yourself and wondering what is wrong with you that she could leave guys or girls that he would leave you. Um, and like I said, analyzing yourself and going, okay, where did I mess up? What can I do better? What can I learn from? That's good, but not when it starts harming your self-esteem, not when you start beating yourself up over it. Okay, not when you start micro analyzing every little thing, not when you start changing who you are so that you fit someone else's, expectations. And everyone, has what they like and what they don't like, and there's going to be someone there who you match up with really well. Um, but be careful in this one, okay? Be careful in this bargaining stage. Okay, next, finally, for acceptance. But I want to mention this to you that most problems lie between stages 3 and 4. Because in that bargaining stage, you're going to get you're going to be sad, you're going to get into that depression, and it can be really long. Okay, stages 3 and 4, that's where the problems are going to be. You can be stuck here for months or even years, depending on how close you were in the relationship and what your actions are now. Okay, this bargaining stage, as you start to go into acceptance, and you start trying to recover, and you start doing all the things that you shouldn't, the actions now can really make this a tough time to get out of. Now, what do? You, in this time between stages 3 and 4, you are waiting by the phone. When you get that alert on your phone, you're hoping that it's your ex. You're Facebook and Instagram stalking. You are rewinding memories. You're looking at old photos. You're looking at old Facebook posts. You start reaching out again. And then you don't want to feel better or accept that it's over. Now, I know that sounds strange, but this is true, and some of you um totally get this, okay? You think, well, I'm trying to feel better. I mean, that's why I'm watching all these videos on YouTube. You're on YouTube all day trying to get over this, but of course I want to feel better, but sometimes no you don't. And okay, from personal experience, I remember I didn't want to feel better after a breakup with a girl because I was like, if I feel better and if I recover, then that means I'm over her, and I don't want to be over her. That makes sense? I mean, it sounds stupid, but does that make any sense to you guys? Because if I accepted it was over, that meant I was okay with not having her, but for so long, I wanted her back. And so that moving on and being okay with knowing that it's over and she's married now and everything, has kids. But yeah, you have to be okay with letting that go. Now, the sooner you get to full acceptance, the sooner your recovery and able to move on to really good things in your future. Okay? You got to accept that a relationship, just like all things, will have an end. You know, I think it's important during the relationship just to keep in the back of your mind, like, hey, this could come to an end. Don't act like it. Don't, live the relationship out like, hey, it's going to end tomorrow. But just know, in all things, everything at some point comes to an end, including a relationship. Um, I heard someone say this: life is bigger than that one relationship you are trying to hold on to. Okay, so that can help in the acceptance stage. You understand that life is bigger than that one relationship that you're trying to hold on to. And I understand it's diversified, right? If you're divorcing, or you've just been divorced and you didn't want the divorce, maybe your spouse cheated and you've had a couple kids, and yeah, that's a huge part of your life, right? So I understand it does vary. Um, but even that, there's more ahead of you. Okay, and if you're listening to this and you're younger, you're in your early 20s, you have so much life ahead of you that don't let, or even younger, high school, don't let that relationship there, in your young age, be such a focus. Get beyond it, get past it, because you have so many years ahead of you and you're going to meet so many other girls, that will like you, ladies, other guys that will like you, and don't focus on just that one relationship and trying to hold on to it, because you do have a long future ahead of you. All right, so what to do? I don't like just giving you information. I like to tell you what to do. And if you're enjoying this video, make sure you subscribe and like the video. Okay, share it with people who are hurting. So let's get on to what to do. Okay, cut the thread of hope. I know the toughest thing in the world is to cut that thread of hope, because there's this tiny little thread, like a dental floss, you know, that is you're hanging on to, that she just might call you, she just might text you, this just might work after all. And I've done no contact. I've done all those strategies of getting her back that all the other YouTube videos talk about, and she just maybe. Nah, go ahead and cut it. Okay. Now I'm not saying people don't get back together and it works. Okay, or that both people can make changes in a few months and stuff, get back together and have a very successful relationship and even get married and have a great life together. Yes, that does happen, okay? But that's not what this purpose of the video is. And yes, you can get back with an old, um, an old person that you were with, a previous relationship, and move forward into something new together. Yes, I heard a story on the radio of a couple who were divorced for 11 years, and after 11 years, they got back and things worked, okay? But that's a different video. We're going through the stages of recovery, okay? One thing to do is cut the thread of hope. You have to cut. I know it's tough, but you cut it, and even if you have to symbolize it, go get a dental floss, go get a thread, from a sewing kit and cut it. If you have to physically do some type of, uh, you know, physical manifestation, some type of symbol, some sign of cutting it. Go ahead, do that. But you're going to need to just cut the thread of hope to say, okay, it's done. It's over. Some of you, it's been years and you're still waiting. Refrain from bargaining. Why? Because remember I said that's the most dangerous stage, and that could last the longest. Okay, where you're still hoping and you're depressed and you're compromising and you're doing all this stuff. Okay, so refrain from that. Also, stop watching date movies and listening to love songs. Okay, especially your songs, the ones that you and her really enjoyed, the ones that you and her would drive in the car and sing out loud to. Okay, now these songs have repeated phrases, right? It's called the chorus. And not only that, but words are very powerful when they're put to music. They help us remember stuff. That's why children learn their ABCs to a song. Okay? Children love songs, and they're a great way to teach kids how to learn because phrases are repeated, and the human brain is designed to recall things very well when they're put to rhythm and harmony. Okay? So, stop the date movies, stop the love songs, okay? And don't listen to Air Supply. Some of you are probably going, well, what's Air Supply? Just take my word for it, okay? Those of you who know Air Supply they are the best songs when you're in love and the worst songs when you are trying to recover from a breakup, right? Songs like Lost in Love, Making Love Out of Nothing at All, Even the Nights Are Better. All those great songs when you're in love. Don't listen to them if you are recovering from a breakup, all right? Um, Funny story. I was hanging out with some buddies and we were talking about, hey, what song or what group do you listen to? But you roll the windows up because you don't want anyone to know that you actually enjoy this song. And we were like, Air Supply. Air Supply is it. The windows go up. Even better if you're on the freeway, right? Because no one's going to hear you anyway. But yeah, stay away from those songs, okay? Yeah, no Air Supply. I can't believe I just admitted on the internet that Air Supply is kind of cool. Their songs are. But anyways, yeah. Let's go. One thing to ask, is it love or is your ego hurt? Okay? Now, guys, this is mostly for us because if a girl breaks up with us, it does something to our manhood. Okay? It almost insults us in a way. Um, we're just designed like that. Girls, not so much you, but guys, we have to ask, is it our ego? Because we like being liked. We like when a girl finds her I don't know if it's validation, but finds um, us attractive, finds us that she desires us, and when she says not anymore, then it's like a hurt to you, and you think it's love because you want her back. But once she comes back, if it wasn't love, once she comes back, then your ego is fulfilled again, and it'll probably end up in another breakup because you're going to go back to the same behavior as before. Okay? Um, Also, really look at what the relationship was. Okay? Really look at it. Are you making it better than what it was? Okay? Are you having the proper perspective of it? You need to watch my teaching on perspective in the breakup. I'll link that at the end of this video, put an end screen. But think about those things, okay? And also accept someone else in your life to love and be loved by. Okay, once you do that, and of course ego plays part, but that person's gonna fill those needs of that ego. Um, and you're just gonna get back to that normal relationship thing, and possibly you're gonna have a better one than the one you're trying to get over right now. I know that you think there's no one else in the world, and that I lost the one that I needed. Um, Watch my video on the psychology of a breakup. I'll put that screen at the end too. Um, but that's not true, okay? You can be loved by someone else, and you can love someone else. And it could be really, really good. Like I say, even better than the one you're crying about right now. And lastly, take control of your recovery, okay? You have to take control of it. No one's going to do it for you. You take control of your recovery. And I like to help educate you guys, give you some knowledge. Um, the Bible actually says that he says, "My people perish for lack of knowledge." Okay, so with knowledge comes recovery. Okay, and you know what to do. So I always tell people, educate yourselves. Okay, so take control of your recovery, and these are books I recommend today. Um, Left Alone to Learn. It's really high on Amazon's reviews. Check that one out. And then you've seen this one before that I posted, How to Get Over Anyone in a Few Days. I'll put the links in the bottom. Now, I'm going to ask you to do something. Write down in the comments where you're at. Okay? Share with the community. What stage do you think you're in? And also what you're doing to recover. Okay? What's working for you? Because your comments can help other people. So do that, all right? Okay, you guys, go back, watch this video again. Um, God bless you. This is Tony with Trust the Breakup, reminding you everything's going to be okay. You're going to be all right, okay? Just trust the breakup.